Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Tai Chi with me Jane from Jade Maiden Tai Chi and Holistic Therapies. So we've been looking at various aspects of the 24 simplified form, or the international competition form. You may have heard of it. So today we're just going to look a little bit more at our cloud hands section. Now the cloud hands in the 24 form and in Yang style is a little different from say the Chen style that I've been teaching in recent years. So when we step to the side, you have the option. You can step with the toe or step with the heel. And it's really down to the styling of the Tai Chi, the family that are teaching it as to which way. Whereas almost always when you're stepping forwards, regardless of the style of Tai Chi, if you step forwards, you would step naturally with your heel first. And if you're stepping back, you step naturally with your toe first. But when it comes to stepping sideways, you could do either way. So Chen tends to be almost like a chopping kick to the side. When you step, it is like a kick. But with Yang style, we're going to step with the toe, which gives it a softer, gentler energy and is maybe physically a little bit easier. But the idea of transference is universal in Tai Chi, yin changing to yang. So when we step open in Yang style in the 24, we step with the balls of the foot, and as the heel sinks down, the opposite heel will come up. So this is a weight transference. And it's a little bit like your clutch control in the car. You want to feel for that lovely bite, for that feeling of, oh yes, I'm connecting with the earth's energy and I'm connecting with my energy, and you're pouring and emptying in equal measure. So it takes a lot of practice to get that feeling nice and slick. So you can do it standing with your knees bent, your bottom released slightly back, your tail hanging long. You can just practice, if you see from the side, see from the diagonal, as one presses down, the other peels away. So breathe into it. And you can practice that seated as well, but it's not just lifting one and lowering the other. It's a feeling of connection to the sort of energy in your body, that as one is filling, the other is emptying. It's quite subtle. We want to get that feeling that you're almost like on a really thick yoga mat and you're pressing down into the foam on one side and letting the foam release and fill and push your foot up on the other. So that in itself, if you shake out, that can be quite a practice and a focus. Often with Tai Chi, people try to get so much all in one go. But really, if years of training has taught us anything, it's that doing a focus on one thing can actually gain so many more results. So that's why silk reeling is so important, that we focus just on one aspect so that we can repeat thousands of times and get it really slick and really get to know the move, and in the process get to know our own body. So don't just go, oh yeah, I've got that, what's next? Because if you do that, you may get lots of movements, but none of them will be very clean, crisp, and you won't truly feel them, and you won't have that body memory that will allow you then to let go and have a clear mind and simply be in the moment as you flow. So let's practice that filling and emptying, pressing down and peeling away. Very good. Okay, so let's now go over to one side. Doesn't matter which side, because it's exactly the same. We do in both directions, but you're going to stand, keeping the head lengthening up. The chin slightly down and back, and allow the body to sink. Now I'm peeling up my trousers so that you can see the footwork. We want to keep that filling and emptying pretty much on a level. So please don't be tempted to do a rise and fall onto the balls of your feet, but rather keep as if you're under a table so that the head remains level. Good, so let's fill the left foot now. And we step open with the right foot. Notice we're not taking a whopping great step. If we do, the temptation is that we will lose our balance. So the size of your step is determined by the depth of your stance. So if you're in a high stance, the way I am, you can only take a small step. If I try and go bigger, I have to fall onto it like a falling tree. It doesn't work. But if you're going deep, if you want to really push yourself, then by all means you can take a bigger stance. You have to maintain that depth and that height as you practice. So pick a height that is sensible and comfortable for you, and you can choose on different days to challenge yourself and go deep. If you're not feeling particularly robust, or if you just want to get the movement into your body, stay high for now. It's good when you're learning to not wreck yourself in deep stance. So we're standing on the left and we step open. We heel transfer, pouring into the right, lifting, peeling away the left and come in. So you can have a little bit of space between your feet. It doesn't have to be on top, but it's a feeling of closing. So again, pour into the left, peeling away, emptying the right. Touch. You're feeding off one foot into the other and come in. Touch and pour. Touch. Keep it level and in. Now I've gone a bit lower than I normally do. All that talk of going deep. So I'm taking a slightly wider stance. Good. And touch. And when you run out of space, change direction. Touch. Heel down and the other heel lifts. Keep breathing, very important. And allow your movement to glide. Heel into the floor, peeling away at the same time. Good. And rest. Well done. Relax down and shaking out. So there are different qualities of movement. You can call them push and pull, and you can call them swallow and spit. I know it sounds a bit disgusting, but you are spitting out the fullness of one leg into the emptiness of the other. So that's spitting out, and the other foot swallows the energy and swallows the weight of your body. And there is a gentle push or a feeding from one side and an absorbing in the other side. So this is your qualities of yin and yang in the transition. Change, heel and in, heel. One heel swallowing down into the earth and the other spitting out or sending out the weight. Good. So something that needs to be practiced again and again to get it smooth. You don't have to go deep. As I say, I'll do a little bit on the diagonal so that you can see. On the other side. Feel for that engagement. There's a playfulness between the energy that's filling one foot and emptying the other. And rest. Very good. Shake out. So let's have a little look at the arms now. Now in Tai Chi, all movement comes from center. So we're not doing big circling movements of the arms. It looks like that, but actually it's the center moving. The center that is rotating. It's turning from left to right, but there's also a feeling of rolling on the diagonal as well. So this is down to basic principles: left, right, forwards, back, and combination. So we have one arm up and one arm down. This is Yang style, and even within a style you'll have many variations. So in the different styles and through the generations of Yang style, you'll see cloud hands done in many ways. And though the 24 is supposedly unified, it's a standardized form, even then different teachers will teach it different ways. And I'm a firm believer that really it's not wrong, you know, if they're doing it different ways, even if it deviates from the standardization, as long as it works martially, and it roughly looks like cloud hands or like the movement, then it's absolutely, it stands up to the test. Once we start to just kind of dance and let go of the principles, for example, not moving from center, or it not working martially, if someone were to attack you with that and you were to use that movement to defend yourself, if it didn't work, if your distances were out, then it's no longer Tai Chi. So if this isn't the way you do it, it doesn't mean either of us are wrong. It's just there are variations. Okay, so we have one hand level with Dan Dian, lower Dan Dian, and one hand underneath the nose. So just at that important point underneath the nose, so that we can see easily past the eyes. If your hand is raised, it creates confusion in your visual field. And again, it's losing that little bit of Qigong element of that important point where the Du and the Rin channels switch. So we want to keep that hand so that you can see. Okay, so we open by turning the center and change. Turning center, which opens the hand, and change. Turning center, turning the hand and change. By turning the center, the hand will release and open. One rises and the other falls. So I often think of like a pulley system. If you had a pulley, so we have one rope connecting the two hands to a little wheel at the top. As one hand sinks down, the other hand will naturally rise. So that again, just like the feet, we have that energetic interplay. As one empties, the other fills. Turning center, turns hands. The rise and fall is by a rotation in the center, but you don't have to do anything fancy and hidden in your center. It's just moving from the center. Think of the center as the pivoting point, the hinge or the axis by which you turn. Your eyesight looks about a mile away, so you're looking past your hands, and you always use your leading hand to guide your eye line. So you're not looking at your hands, and you're not just staring into space. You keep your eye line forwards. If your hand starts to drop, you can start to allow your eye line to drop, but then the other hand becomes leading hand, and so that takes your eye line with. This way it keeps your awareness open. Good, so let's put hands and legs together. We step, heel change, step, hand and foot change. Let's look at it from the diagonal. As one heel presses down, the other peels away. Let's change direction. And rest, take a breath. Two. And three. Cover center. Hug your elbows in, relax into your belly. And breathe. Good job. Release down. So let's recap important things to remember for your cloud hands stepping. We want to pick a height and stick to it. Please avoid going up and down. When you step in, it's the same. Don't be tempted to step up and then drop down. Pick your height and stick to it. Remember that your height that you stand dictates the size of your step, so you always step easily on an empty foot. Never reach to try and get wider. So that's one. Remember, the feet want to fill and empty, so you're engaging, you're playing with, pouring the energy from one foot into the other while maintaining your height. The hands and the feet then work together. Remember, no higher than your nose so that you can see over your hands and level with your belly. And you can think of that pulley system. So as one is pressing down, the other is coming up. There's an interplay, an energetic pouring, filling and emptying between the two hands. And remember, all movement comes from center. So if you're just moving your arms, you're not doing Tai Chi. So please have a play with those movements, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Let's salute. Right hand in fist, left straight, thumb tucked away. Thank you.